Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to generate an abutment in the software for an abutment that you have in your hand, but you don't have a digital file of. Now, in this case, I am going to be using a digital file, but I'm going to try to use this way of showing what I would do in real life. Honestly, I'm sitting at home right now making this video, and I don't have an abutment in my hand, but I also think that it'll be easier to show than trying to watch my hands move around. Now, for reference, I would be using a digital caliper, okay? We're going to take the digital caliper and get a reading of the dimensions in millimeters of the various aspects of the abutment. If you go to my website, right under 3D printing tools, so barongraderDDS.com /3D printing tools, or you can just go up to the top of the website, accessories, 3D printing tools. You can find a link to one. They're cheap. They're about 20 bucks or so, and I've got multiple. I've got a couple at my house. I've got a couple at the office because they're very, very handy. So in this case, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this abutment in our hands and measuring it, the diameter at a few particular areas, and the heights, okay? So a couple things I'm going to show you is I've already pre-worked this up because I don't want you to have to watch me get this ready. And so what I've done with it is I have lopped off the top of it because this is I don't know if you're familiar with this. This is what's called, the new term I just recently read was a three-way abutment. The idea is it's an impression post, it's a preppable abutment, and a temporary abutment. I don't know. There's three different things. But anyway, oh yeah, carrier. Implant carrier. You can drive it in the implant. You can use it as an abutment, or you can also use it as an impression post. But anyway, so this is one you might have. Lots of systems have these. I know that BioHorizons does. Implant Direct does. This is one from Blue Sky Bio. So lots of companies sell their implants with these. So if you wanted to use this in the software, that's fine. You can. What the first thing you're gonna do is, I'm not going to be. This part's going to be cut off regardless. This top. So pretend this is the actual abutment you're going to be using. And so what I've done in the software is, again, not something you're going to do. This is just me for demonstration purposes, is I sectioned it into a bunch of pieces, okay? Most importantly, I'm going to show you these little pieces. Well, I'll go ahead and just turn this off. So you can see the abutment, and the parts that are important to me are first the margin area right down here. I've made like a little disc at that area. Then right at the very initial of the transition, I've made another disc right there. If you look, there's another transition right here. So I made a disc there, and then the very top. And so what I'm going to do, and what you would do in real life, is you're going to measure the diameter here. You're going to measure the diameter there. You're going to measure the diameter here, and you're going to measure the diameter here. So digitally, you're just going to take, you're going to take your calipers manually and just measure those to give you kind of to see what I did is software. Again, you wouldn't do this in the software. You just bring the abutment in the software, but you can see where I generate a number. 4.2 millimeters is what I estimate. And then for the height, I measured the distance from one layer to the next and whatnot, okay? So in this case, it was 3.35 millimeters. And so I created, let's get back to this, and let's bring up this chart. So what this chart is showing is that at this bottom layer, it is 4.7 millimeters in diameter, and it's a zero height because it's the start point. Now, if I go precisely, let me look from here. If I go precisely, let's look from the front because that's a little confusing because it has this planed off area. We're ignoring that for the purpose of this. So if I go from this margin to this part right here, it is approximately typo here, 0.24 millimeters. So 0.24 millimeters up to, and it is a diameter of 4.2 millimeters in diameter. Then from here, this point right here, down to the initial spot, all the way to the bottom, not to the previous spot, but to the bottom, this distance to here is 3.35 millimeters, and the diameter is 3.51 millimeters. And then lastly, from here, well, sorry about that, from this point all the way to the top, it is 4.45 millimeters. And once again, the diameter is 3.51. Okay, so again, we've got a starting point, 0, 4.7. The next height, 2.24 millimeters. It's 4.2 millimeters diameter, and then this point right here, it is 3.35 millimeters up with a diameter of 3.51, and the very top, it is 4.45 millimeters tall with a diameter of 3.51. Now, every abutment might have, you might have just a straight line from here to here. Fine, this is one less thing you need to measure. It might be convex as opposed to concave. You have to measure that. Anywhere that's this concave part, you could just create an abutment that went straight from here to there, skipping this part. It would just be more loose and more cement would fill that in. But if it was convex instead, where it stuck out, that would be very important, or your abutments won't fit, or your printed healers won't fit. So these are the measurements I've created. So now I'm going to go into Blender, the APG2 software, and show you how to use it. So what I need to do, though, is I'm creating the abutment. So to do that, I need to change my workflow to advanced. Click right here. Now I'm going to come right down here where it says Show Advanced Abutment Tools. I'm going to click on that. And then this button right here is Create Abutment from Measurements. Now I've already typed this in, but I'm going to go ahead and zero all these out so you can see me enter them, as unimportant as that is. But just in case. All right, so, well, it leaves it at 1 millimeters as a default. That's fine. So the bottom, we know it needs to be 4.7. 0.7. Oops, I'm typing in the wrong window. Yeah, come on. 0.2. Okay, so in this window right here, I'm going to put 4.7, and this one, it's at the 0 point. So this one, what it was supposed to be, it was supposed to be 4.2, 4.2 at 0.24, 0.24. Next one is going to be 3.51, 3.51 at 3.35 height, 3.35. Last one, 3.35, 3.51 at 4.45, 4.45. And if I click OK, there's my abutment. Now you might be thinking, well, that doesn't look like it. It's just this short little squat thing. Well, that's all that's important for this. I don't need the entire abutment. The connection doesn't matter. This is what the healer is going to fit over top of. And if I try to get that kind of close to level, and now I bring up my abutment, you'll see that the shape is the same. This portion right here is all the same as this. So now I'm done. I have created my abutment. I can change this to wizard, or back to the wizard format, make the selections I want to make, and click Create APG Abutments. Now it's going to use this generic abutment shape that I've now created, and it's going to separate these, remove this from the actual healer shape. Give it just a second. I'm on battery power on my laptop, so it might take a little bit longer, but there we go. And here you go. You can see the inside. You can see that sort of a taper right there. And these will all fit. If you want to see what an abutment looks like, it just slides right in there. Unfortunately, there's not much to see because there, you can see how it slides on top. You wouldn't do this. I'm just kind of showing you. There's the abutment, and there these all slide right over top. Okay? So that's it. That is how you generate generate a set of these sleeves from an abutment that you don't have a digital file of, and you just have it in hand, and you want to take some quick measurements, and then go ahead and write these down. You can even export the abutment to save it so that you have it later. And I'll show you, I guess, real quick how to do that. Just click on the abutment, select it, and then I'm going to come to Export, STL, and then just figure out where you want to export it. Hit Export STL. So that's just a way to save that in case you want to use it later, and without having to re-input the numbers. But really, I would just keep those numbers around just in case you somehow lose that STL or whatever. You've got your measurements all taken care of. So again, just get your measurements, plug them in there, and away you go. All right, hope that video helps. Now you know how you can take any abutment you have in your hand and create an APG healer set for it. All right, bye for now.